Remo, this is a best of 3 between the European champion and the German champion.
Yeah, a matchup that we saw before. A goal that XlorD set for himself quite a while ago to finally take down Happy, the Emperor of Europe. Hasn't been able to before, but hopefully, or at least from his point, can do it now. He's coming into this with all the confidence, with all the wind in his sails from his victory only yesterday. We saw it in the Meisterschaft. Very convincing there, but now this is the big boss. This is the final boss of Europe, Happy, who hasn't been bested in forever.
In forever, that's true. Especially not in best of 5s. But until the grand final, this is all best of 3. So if there's a chance to kick Happy, it's maybe now. XlorD must have been practicing a lot on that mirror as he was up against his teammate Juan in the Meisterschaft. You mentioned it already. And XlorD looking in very good shape yesterday, especially when he was poked a little. Then he turned it up to 11 and boom, 4th German championship for Daniel Spenst. And now I'm ready. Are the players ready? I think they are. Ready. Happy is ready as well. This is a special match. This is the best undead that Europe has to offer.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see what these two show us. What recent developments have they made? It was in this matchup against this player where Happy finally unveiled the XlorD. The hero that he refused to play for the longest time is what he used to get past XlorD in DreamHack to get into the semis back then. What are we going to have here now in our next best of 3?
First, we have Northern Isles. And the stats between them, 70% in favor of Happy. It's been quite some matches between them recently. And XlorD coming close, but not really besting Happy. Sometimes it comes down to one coil, one Nova. This little bit of mana that you maybe need where Happy makes the one decision that's just better. How will this end up here? Let's go Northern Isles.
XlorD played a bit of a tough undead mirror yesterday against Juan, his teammate, where he was certainly tested, but here he is truly gonna be brought to the test. The final exam that he was close to passing before. He has taken maps off of Happy. He has challenged Happy, but he hasn't beaten Happy in a long, long time. Can XlorD do it today? Happy is the big favorite here, I'm sure, on War3 info. All the coins, or close to all the coins, are on Happy. But in the best of 3, especially in the best of 3, Happy has sometimes been defeated, hasn't he?
True, man. True. And I am looking in the altars, Remo. And what do we see? Death Knights.
Double DK, yep.
On Northern Isles, no one's playing the XlorD. XlorD, as I mentioned before, said yesterday, I'm not the biggest fan of the XlorD anymore. People started to figure him out. And DK is always a solid choice. And that's what we see on both sides.
Yeah, it seems to be very map dependent nowadays. On some maps, the XlorD fast expansion is just so good that it seems like you have to play it. Those would be definitely Echo Isles and probably Terranos. But on Northern Isles, not so much the case, especially because I think the Dark Ranger tier 2 pressure can be pretty good here, which is normally what you would play if you go DK against XlorD. So it is the standard. XlorD is willing to play standard, cookie cutter, and even Steven game against Happy, and will try to outplay the Russian.
That's oozing quite some confidence, because that is probably the hardest task in European Warcraft. Maybe, well, not all of Warcraft. There's, of course, the Infies, the THs, the Moons, and the Law Alliance, who are on his level. But in Europe, you name it, hardly bested recently. There's attack on one Ziggurat, there's attack on one Ziggurat. No creep was stolen with Acolytes, as we've seen yesterday in the Meisterschaft. So, fairly tame opening so far.
Yeah, it's pretty standard creep routes here. If we see XlorD fast expansions, games can oftentimes get very chaotic, hectic, hard to keep an overview of. But with DK Fiends, it's the very opposite. It's kind of cruise control early. It's a bit of creeping, you get your levels, you get your items. Normally there's one creep route that's the best, and both go for that. On this map, it's triple green into Expo, then into the middle. If we see anything other than that, it would already be a surprise. And so far, both are following that very creep route.
Yeah, tame start, but guys, I can promise you, at least the mid and late game will be absolutely explosive. It's gonna rain coils and novas and silences, and Undead Mirror can be pretty damn awesome, especially on this level. Was it the stay-at-home story cup on this map where XlorD got so close and it came down to this like one coil or one nova, whatever it was?
Yeah, it was here where it was an even early game, and then in the mid game, the Lich came into the middle, and XlorD misused one nova, and that basically cost him the game.
Exactly.
Yeah. That was pretty insane. This is the level that these two here are playing at. But we see a deviation from the norm. XlorD doesn't want to follow the meta creep route. He's more aggressive. He doesn't creep level 3 first, but moves across the map on level 2, trying to be aggressive, slow down the creep game. And that can oftentimes mean a Naga second, looking for pressure.
Oh yeah, we've seen this before in Happy's matches against 1-2-0. XlorD, by the way, he's not the old pro gamer that comes back in the scene anymore. Naga is here, by the way. He's grinding games like crazy. He's currently #1 in season 3. That's already on the way with close to 200 games. That's nuts.
Wait, what? He has 200 games in the new season?
I think so, like close to it, or 150 or something. He's grinding like a madman.
I think you saw that wrong. He has 70. No, yeah, 70 right now. Maybe 2 accounts? On his main account, he has 70. Anyways, we take a look at what's happening here. We do have the Naga, and Happy not following up with his own Naga. He's going Lich. He wants to have the strong Lich in the late game. He's perhaps giving up a bit of creeping in the meantime here. Who's going to get the last hit? It goes to Happy, the experience does, but the item goes to XlorD. It's the Period, which is okay, not amazing, but this block is pretty damn amazing. Could be the first kill of the game. If he takes out this Fiend, this would be a big deal. There's one more coil, but Happy doesn't use it. Feels that the Fiend is going to die anyways, I guess.
Okay. We've seen the blocks yesterday by XlorD. We've seen the blocks today by Grubby. It's just a good weapon if you can use them right. And XlorD winning the early game here with the Fiend kill and the item steal. That's what you have to accomplish with the Naga, though.
Yeah, I would say so far so good for XlorD. But one Fiend isn't necessarily the end of the world. It's really going to be about how he can transition into the late game. At the end of the day, it's going to be about who fights better with the ultimate tier 3 army, 50 supply, 60 supply, something like that. And for that, hero levels are crucial. Hitting a level 2 in time, level 3 in time, perhaps level 4 down the road. XlorD has a small lead currently, but now with the Lich out, Happy is looking to put on some pressure of his own.
Okay, Naga illusion gone. How well do the Novas... Oh, okay, Happy is like, okay, I show you how to block, and not getting it here, though. Has to use the first Nova. Will result in a kill. He's trying, but there should be another coil soon. XlorD's Myco, really great. Uses the double burrow to be safe, and there's no dust.
Sick burrows, dude. He uses the coil, knows then could come the Nova and the danger, but he has the burrow ready. And a rare mistake by Happy. He forgot about the necessity of a dust. Could have picked it up with the Lich, and that costs him at the very least one Fiend.
And that's no level 3 DK. That's a very, very hurt DK for Happy as well. He has to back off. He can't stay in this. And now it's XlorD's turn again to apply some pressure.
Yeah, XlorD has the statue out here, which is crucial for sustain. Happy's statue is late, kind of. Okay, I guess it's coming pretty much at the same time. And the Lich is coming in third. XlorD's gonna have more damage with Lich plus Naga. Happy's gonna have more control with Lich plus Dark Ranger. We don't see her yet, the Dark Ranger, but she certainly should be coming. Big items for the two. Book of the Dead for Happy, which is one of the worst drops, considering there are destroyers. And XlorD is looking for the other one across the river at the Overseer. It's taking a little while, but he's going to get it. That's the float. That's probably the best.
That's a dream indeed. A free attack upgrade for the Fiends. And Naga and Lich. And Happy is taking a spot where the item is already gone. The majority of the experience is also gone. Opens up the possibility of an expansion, of course. We have the Lich third for XlorD. Tier 3 done. That means Orb. and soon to be destroyers, probably. Wonder if one of these players decides to go for an expansion or queues a Temple of the Damned.
And normally we see a move towards 50 supply, destroyers, and possibly even an expo before banshees, but there's always a little bit of variance on the top level, what the newest meta development is. Some undeads entirely skip banshees, but as we saw yesterday from XlorD at least, seems like he still likes them in the late game, where curse and anti-magic can certainly be a big help. We're taking our foot off the pedal. It's creep time right now. Lots of experience being gathered, and a couple of big items here as well, especially at the red camp.
Yeah, we saw the all-you-can-eat buffet for the Lich on Happy's side, the Book of the Dead. Gloves of Haste for the Lich for XlorD is always nice to have, because more damage on Lich is always good. And as Happy mentioned, here's the marketplace. You can buy claws all the time. About that red spot item, he's not gonna be too happy. Maybe he can trade it at the marketplace.
Yeah, it might even find some use. Like, it puts another threat on the map. Like, normally focusing DK is almost always a mistake in Undead Mirror. But if he has the Cloak of Flame, suddenly maybe that's what you want to focus. But then suddenly the Fiends aren't getting attacked, so I don't even mind it that much. It's not that much damage, but it's another little headache you have to concern yourself with. XlorD didn't go for the red cap. That's a weird creep route. He went for Scorpions into Lab when he could have gotten the red.
Scorpions into red into Tuska though. But now it's kind of a weird moment. What do you do? Attacking an undead base is always a little ill-advised. Going back to the red, then you're kind of stuck in the corner with nothing else to do on the side of the map.
Dude, look at Happy's Lich. If Todd was here, he would say, I swear, every time he's playing Lich, he's super stacked. Every single time.
A player's forces are under
Yeah, true. It is kind of true. He creeps so fast, so efficient, that he gets a lot of items, and if he doesn't get the right ones, he buys them. So, Happy's Lich is always a force. Unholy Aura on the red spot, also one to sell. And now it's Happy diving into XlorD's base, and he might see the Temple of the Damned and cancel it.
Could pop the Book of the Dead, and he does. I guess that's going to be the best value he's going to get out of this item. If he pops it in a real fight, it's just going to get dispelled. TP out, but one Fiend is going to be going down. We see the danger of the nuke. The Nova plus the Fog Lightning takes out one Fiend, and Happy a little slow there on the silence, honestly. Could have been able to save that Fiend, but, well, it's only one Fiend. Something that I guess he can afford. Acolytes survived. Book of the Dead didn't do much. Happy's hoping that perhaps he still has the red camp up there to creep, but that one is long gone. And so are pretty much all the creeps on the map. So, hard to say. Where do we go next?
Happy, by the way, hesitated a little to focus on that temple, then did. And then the last shots of the Fiend, while the TP was already used, and the units were gone, the little spiders were still in the air, and that's what killed the Temple of the Damned. That delays the Banshees by a lot, so... Not too bad. XlorD with the Potion of Greater Mana, also not too bad. Traded that, right? For the Unholy?
I'm not sure. Might have. We go towards the fight. Illusion in front, trying to bait the focus fire here, the Death Knight Illusion. And also XlorD coming out with the Illu, splitting his forces. One Fiend gonna go down right away, though. Couldn't come in with a coil. The Nova Fog Lightning counter-attack, though, or counter-pressure, also doing good damage. Destroyers in the air, getting focused. One going down right away. XlorD didn't have one anymore, did more for another one, but more Nova, more Fog Lightning coming into the back. The Fiends once again are suffering, as it is the case so often. And XlorD has more Fiends here on the field as it seems, but more and more are going down. Both players losing them in quick succession. Now going towards the statues. Heroes so far being left alone. Destroyers still up in the air, surprisingly, especially for Happy. But XlorD is going to lose his last one. Happy is taking control of this fight perhaps once more. Fiend count is getting dwindled down on both sides. Boros being used. This time there is a dust and we have barely any Fiends left. Out towards the heroes. Lich in trouble. Has to be coiled. TP up by XlorD. Is going to save his second hero maybe. Or third hero it is. And that is once again Happy winning the fight. Up in supply. Out on the map. Is this the time to expand now is the question.
Oh, baby. That's a Happy fight, man. Well done. It was a bare-knuckle box fight with even blows for the longest time, but at some point, the Russian takes advantage. And XlorD, did he use... Yeah, didn't use his Greater Mana. Happy did use the Scroll of the Beast. So that's gone. It wasn't full commitment by XlorD. It was a little bit like testing the waters and falling on your face a little bit, but he's still in this game. Still got up. Now, Happy going for the marketplace. Didn't buy anything at 400 gold.
There's slippers and claws in there. Those are really good bang for your buck items. And it's a level 3. That's such a big deal. That's an increase in damage on the Black Arrow from 2 to 10 damage, which makes a big difference. And of course the level 2 skeletons. Unless he goes for silence level 2, but that would be weird. Happy with a good amount of gold here. But not enough lumber for an expansion.
Yeah. It's not the biggest lead he has. Both are taking their time to tech up the casters. Banshees are coming. Anti-magic upgrade in queue. The 2 destroyers are definitely good for Happy to dispel, but also a little bit of a liability, right? It's 10 supply.
Yeah, absolutely. Destroyers can always backfire on you if then suddenly they just get webbed and killed. But if you can keep them alive, they can be quite strong. 2-1 upgrades, so with a bit more armor. Oh, and look at this. 2-2 coming in before the 3rd attack upgrade. That is something that is kind of new. Normally, undeads in Mirror have always been maxing out attack first, but Happy values the armor. I love it.
Me too. If the Fiends survive one more volley, maybe it's not like in StarCraft where the damage gets distributed perfectly from the game itself, so you don't overshoot in damage. In Warcraft 3, you definitely overshoot in damage, and if you focus too much on a Fiend, that lowers your overall damage. Looking forward to this if that makes a difference here.
XlorD upkeep. I think he should have seen that Happy's only at 50, so if he can force a fight right now, that would be quite, or should be quite advantageous for him. What is not advantageous is the fact that he still doesn't have level 2 aura. He's so close with the DK. Only 8 XP away, and this really makes a big difference, guys. Don't let this fool you. The additional 10% movement speed, when it's all about micro, does make quite the difference. Happy sees the army approaching now, sees the anti-magic, and definitely sees that this is more than 50, falls back and goes into upkeep himself, up to about 60 supply, and also has the gold to perhaps even get up to 70, where then he would have the supply advantage and the advantage of his home field, of his base in the back.
Okay, XlorD, is he for once not careful enough, not patient enough, or does he see the need for this as he was the one breaking upkeep earlier? Nope, he's falling back, and with that gets shop control. Maybe the invul potions is what makes the difference in the end, but he's not even going there. Checking out the marketplace.
It looks like XlorD isn't sure exactly what to do right now, and I don't blame him. This, I feel like we see this situation more and more occurring. Like, the map is crap, there's no expansion. What is the next best step? The next best thing to do? You could always expand, but that exposes you also to a dangerous attack from your opponent. XlorD is camping at the marketplace.
Ancient
Didn't buy
Django.
anything, I
Ancient
think.
Django.
Ah, he bought the Ancient Django. That is, of course, excellent, but very expensive.
True. He has the 2 movement speed auras, of course, a little bit of damage for the Fiends as well. Can he afford an invul potion? Does he even want an invul potion? Anti-magic is everywhere. Stat he's a little exposed at the moment, but that's totally fine, as Happy is not the one leaving his base. So now we have armor upgrades coming in for XlorD himself. He's gonna be 2-2-2. Just as Happy is. 2-2-2.
Very good.
Just as Happy is. No 3rd attack upgrade here. Happy at 70. Yesterday in the stalemate situation, XlorD against Spiral, XlorD used a Meat Wagon and Disease Cloud, which was absolutely genius, but of course, different matchup and different purpose.
I didn't know that for years. Disease Cloud actually doesn't work against any undead units. Doesn't matter if it's your own or the enemy's. Undead units can't... they don't mind the stink. Just like me.
Just like... Damn, it took my joke away. Yeah, it's really nothing to do at the moment. It's all about losing patience, and usually that favors XlorD. Because he never loses
positioning here
patience.
by Happy. Yeah, this is the perfect concave. Yeah, XlorD,
Yeah.
you can't go in here, dude.
No,
That's
no.
a death sentence.
But I mean, he doesn't mind, really, as long as there's no expansion up. He killed the owl.
Well, at least he left the penguin alive.
But he's the one controlling the marketplace and the shop. So he can get huge value here. Still 10 supply down.
I'm really surprised he's not buying the claws. The claws plus 6 are so cheap. 125. Way too cheap, by the way. But okay, leaves him in. Leaves him in. I see. Okay. And master training for the Banshees. Possessions could come in soon.
Possession, okay. That's how Happy won his DreamHack semi-final against Vortex. So far we see possession on XlorD's side. Not on Happy, I think. Oh, it's done already. See a lot more mana, more regen, and possession ability.
No other tech addition. Usually, this is the perfect undead army in many matchups. Interestingly, just fiends, banshees, and statues. Maybe a destroyer, but against so many fiends, perhaps that's a bad idea. Once the fiend count gets reduced with the nukes, then maybe destroyers could come in again. Happy is gonna reach 80 supply first, and now he cannot grow stronger anymore. Would perhaps now be the time to look for a fight? Doesn't seem like Happy has that intention at all. He's very patiently sitting on his side of the map. He is looking very much like XlorD oftentimes likes to play.
Absolutely. There's only one Invo Potion on Happy. Is there more? Yeah, there's 3 on XlorD, plus the Greater Mana. This item is the X Factor, I think, in the fight. That's 3 more coils.
This is weird, dude. we're just sitting here.
I mean, why
waiting.
would anyone move out now? Except if they really want to buy something.
Now, Khadgar's pipe would be insane, but once again, very expensive. 500 gold.
Ancient Django is already pretty damn good. So what's next? There's Battle Bongos. And Claws.
What's he eyeing up?
Claws best bang for the buck, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, finally gets him.
And Mantle as well.
Yeah. Those claws were on sale for a long time. Finally, someone took them off the shelves.
Maybe they were a little rusty or, you know, worn off a little. So not too appealing.
Then he gets scratched by rusty claws. Ooh, that can't be healthy.
But, I mean, your opponent gets scratched, right? So you don't really care.
Yeah, true.
A player's
It's like
forces are
blood
under
poisoning.
attack.
Jeez.
Ooh, Dark Ranger, a little bit out of position, but that's her purpose. Seeing XlorD coming. He has an Invo Potion on the DK now as well. XlorD pushing. He's the one losing patience. Still 10
Normally
supply
never
down.
happens. Yeah, 10 supply. And also 1 upgrade, I think. Wait, isn't there? Yeah, the 3rd attack upgrade is coming in for Happy soon. But of course, there's still the True Shot aura, which makes up for it. Happy with all the patience in the world, man.
Yeah.
Will gladly take a fight next to his Black Citadel. Will take that advantage if he can. But if not, then he's just gonna bide his time. XlorD back to the marketplace again. But not so much gold.
Huh? Because he's expanding. I think he queued it already. Acolyte is there. Let's haunt this. Okay, this could be the game-winning move. Let's go protection as well. Naga super tanky, I like that. Can't be
Happy has
coiled.
700 gold though. He can go to 90 supply once he has mined out. Maybe to 100.
With selling a couple of buildings, true.
There we go. High upkeep. A-bomb even. Don't know if I like that. I foresee this one going down real quick.
Or possession.
Could also be possessed, true. But it's weird, like when you have that many fiends, at some point, adding in more fiends drops in value because the group is just so big that there's always going to be fiends in the back stuck, not being able to attack because they all just block each other. So you naturally kind of... It seems to make sense to want to add in melee units, but they have no upgrades. It's going to be 0/0 A-bombs going up against 3/2 fiends, or I guess 2/2 fiends in XlorD's case. Question is Happy gonna expand or not?
He sells everything. Or a lot of ziggurats, so... I don't think... Oh. Wait, he is moving an Acolyte over. Does that make sense, though? Why sell all your Acolytes? Your Ziggurats.
I guess he wanted to be as strong as possible for when he had to expand. And he is looking pretty strong right now. 88 supply. XlorD setting up a nice concave here as well, though.
Expo's finished. And immediately drops the Ziggurat for the Narub Tower. Happy, what do you do now? What's your plan?
Happy finds the position, not forced into the bottleneck, and in we go! 2 destroyers, one of them webbed right away, the second one as well is stuck in the worst position. Naga was getting focused, invul triggered really early, perhaps a little bit too early. That kills level 4 for the DK. Big deal for XlorD's Death Knight. He is silenced, can't use the coil for quite some time. Anti-magic is absolutely everywhere. Happy definitely with the bigger army. He went into this with 88 supply, still has 83 left. More destroyers being morphed mainly against the curse at this point, I guess, but Happy's army is so big, it's insane! Going for the A-bomb now is XlorD. He takes that one out pretty quickly, but it has bought quite some time, and the destroyer gets focused, gets taken out. Happy looking for more kills now towards the Fiends. Anti-magic did a decent job protecting them for quite some time, but now the mana is dry. Now there's no anti-magic anymore on XlorD's side. The German here definitely in trouble, but Happy's DK has run completely out of mana. No more coils. Perhaps now XlorD can turn it around, but he's so far down in supply.
True, where's the damage coming from? Needs it from the Lich, retreating now into the GG. Into the GG. Happy takes game number 1. As so often, and XlorD, man, so much mana on the DK, couldn't really use it, couldn't throw the coils, and then his already smaller army turned even smaller. So, he down.
And Happy, I guess, beats XlorD with more patience. That's not something we get to see a lot.
Yeah.
And of course, excellent execution at the very end. And the Naga doesn't work out. When we saw 1-0 beating Happy twice in their Undead Mirror a while ago, with his Naga play, it was Naga, quick tempo plays into upkeep at around 60 in the late game, and then expanding behind it and going destroyers. Only destroyers. 1-0 didn't play Banshees with his Naga, but rather pure damage to add in more Orb of Annihilation damage along with Nova and Fog Lightning, which Happy had great trouble sustaining through. XlorD tries it here with the Banshees. Didn't work out, but it was only map 1. We're going to map 2 next, Last Refuge, which could be a Cryptlord Fast expansion map, but I kind of doubt it.
Yeah, this was the map where XlorD had Happy kind of beaten and then felt a little too confident, was pushing into his base, and then Happy defended there and took the game in the end. But definitely possible. Seems like XlorD feels really comfortable on LR, so why not? We have a couple of new contributions to the prize pool, which is pretty damn awesome. Dark Yogurt, $10. Nico Nicolas, $10. Jonathan L. Seagull, $50. Thank you so much for all the good work you're doing for the community. Thank you very much, guys. Also, of course, contributions to our stream. We had a resub by Snack. Goodbye, Summer. Meep. Andres Les Lira, Trova, Zinrock, Billy Evans with the 20 euros. Cheers from Pacifica. Cheers, mate. Thanks for tuning in. Gindo, Hovering Umlaut, Abstract, shout out. Your Voices, Ambrosia. Thank you, guys, for the resubs. We slowly but steady raise our sub counter again after almost an all-time low of 500 after DreamHack. We're getting there where we used to be, and we're getting closer to the 3K, $255 away here at Match Reno ! W3C finals. Enough for the talks now, though. Match number 2, Happy, XlorD, Last Refuge.
The early buildings here will tell us quite a lot. What build is it going to be? What strat is it going to be? Cryptlord is the question. And the answer is no. Early Altar and Ziggurat, a Tet Fiend build with DK into Fiends. We're again playing Standard.
Okay. It's been some time since we've seen 2 undead mirrors in a row with DK Fiend opening. Usually, at least one Crypt Lord was involved somewhere, but yeah, XlorD and Happy both have stated that they don't really like it, so there must be a reason for it.
Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, I think it's very map specific. I think Echo and TS, you have to play him in the mirror, but everywhere else, it seems like we're back to standard, and I wouldn't be too surprised if the maps here, the Crypt Lord maps, have been vetoed. Happy especially has stated multiple times how unfond he is, or at least was, of that hero. Now we are playing standard DK micro battles again, which is Happy's home turf.
But there's a lot of items here as well, and especially in mirror matches, they can always give you an advantage here and there. Especially the red spots. We will have eyes on the red spots. No marketplace here, but lots of claws for the Lich.
Yeah, we saw Happy's Lich very strong last game for XlorD. Not that much. He bought 1 claw in the super late game. So he had Orb, 1 claw, and gloves, which is okay. Happy seemed to have quite a bit more. And claws don't only go nicely on the Lich, also on the Dark Ranger or Naga, which I'm sure we're going to be seeing. This map is kind of typical for Naga play. You can play aggressively against the opponent's creeping right away. Sometimes you can even prevent the move up to level 2. And look at this. XlorD pulls in the Murloc camp. This is what the humans started doing against Anid on this map. And that makes Happy's early quite annoying from the very get-go.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, so what to do now? Trying to be aggressive, I guess, while XlorD staying close to his base, starting to creep, getting closer to level 2. Not really level 2. And there's a lot of poison damage on the DK already, at 50% now.
And XlorD once again, I think, gave up the Acolyte too easily. That happened on Northern Isles already, kind of. And it's, no, it doesn't make the hugest difference, but ideally you want to keep it around and scouting for as long as possible. But Happy also loses his. His goes down to the creeps, but he knows where the opponent is going. Oh, the illusion already triggered the creep camp, so we have early inner fire. It's a little annoying. XlorD tries to get the High Priest, but Happy may have something to say about that. Actually, he leaves him be, but the illusion, now he returns the favor. Pulls in the Murloc camp.
Alrighty. So, they don't really face each other here, but they definitely stop each other already from distance, basically, with illusions and spare units that you have anyway. So is it Naga again by XlorD? Is he playing Lich as well? Silence had a huge impact on that last fight, on all the fights, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. On this high level, having the perfect timing on the silence to stop the opponent using the spell when they want to. Silence, it doesn't seem too flashy, but it's actually kind of a high skill cap spell because you need to know when your opponent wants to use his abilities, and you want to use the silence at the perfect time to prevent it for maximum effect. I would assume it's no Naga, because XlorD is playing so passively here. He doesn't know exactly how far along Happy is with his creeping. Happy may very well be very close to level 3 already. And playing a Naga in the mid-game into a fast level 3 DK with a fast level 2 coil usually doesn't feel too good.
XlorD once again trying to go for the High Priest. This time it works. Has the replenishment potion. And waiting for the Lich, I guess. Waiting for the tech to finish. We look at Happy's base. Nothing at the altar yet.
Wait, is he playing Naga?
He has the gold. He has the supply. Prefers tier 3 first. XlorD has the Lich cubed, okay. And then tier 3. What's Happy doing?
Also goes Lich. Okay, so he prefers the tier 3 over the Lich for a bit of a faster orb. Definitely was not spending his money as quickly as he could have, but I'm sure he's gonna have the micro to make up for that later. DK, is he gonna get another ring here, make it perfect 3 out of 3? Nope. 2 rings and claws, which is not too shabby.
Well, the rings, I guess, can be sold. Claws, of course, amazing. So, Fiend surrounded by Happy XlorD. That's not supposed to happen, really. Three Fiends around. That's so hard to do. Loses a couple of HP on the DK, but doesn't really matter. As another Nova could be big. Here we go, but ready with the coil. He did anticipate that.
Yeah, with the level 2 coil, it's really easy to out-heal that damage that the Lich has. Unless there's a ton of skeletons, maybe with a statue. Happy can control the middle of the map, should be able to pretty well. And XlorD's level disadvantage and losing the Fiend definitely doesn't bode well in this game. XlorD finds himself behind in this game. Will have to fight his way back against Happy.
Yeah, this level 3 DK makes all the difference in the world. Now a Fiend up as well. Not looking too great for the German here. Definitely not as great as during the stay-at-home story cup. As a Fiend parked in the main, healing up on Blight, waiting for tier 3. Do we have backpack somewhere? I don't think so, right? Could otherwise bring warm.
Fortunate Ensnare here for XlorD, going for the Fiend, but he only has one Fiend himself to attack at the moment. It's not that much of a threat. The Nova, oh, perfectly timed.
Okay.
Was waiting for the coil to fly and finds the nuke. The perfect threshold there to get the kill. Happy gets the last hit, costs him more mana though as well. XlorD gets a bit more experience from that camp. Now he's level 3 and claws himself back into an even position.
Now we're talking. That was exactly the moment that XlorD needed this one kill. Just psychologically get back into the game after like not too many things going great. Especially losing the Fiend. Like if you get the counter kill, that always feels good. Big Rainbow Potion feels good as well. Dark Ranger for Happy. He clears this one. Is it red spot time?
Wait, was that Black Arrow first?
That is indeed Black Arrow first.
That is pretty weird. Does that mean he wants to creep level 2 Dark Ranger before taking a fight?
I think so.
I guess so.
I think in this corner, we've seen it before, like red spot and nulls. But XlorD has an idea that this is happening.
XlorD scouts up on the high ground with the skeleton, sees Big Boy already gone, but also sees Happy's low mana. Perhaps this is a good time to fight. And he also sees there's no orb. This is definitely a good time to fight. Normally, everyone else would TP out of the situation, and Happy does so as well. Does not want to overextend his welcome, makes it back to the main, saves all the units, and now could perhaps make his way over to the other red camp as well.
On the way there, there's so much to creep. You can go for the mercenary camp, could have gone for the lab. And then bottom right, XlorD has the nulls and scouts in the middle to see if that's happening. It's Dark Ranger time. Here we go. And Happy does make the pit stop at the mercenary camp for a potential flute, Subimask, Roboter Magi. The bit of cunning wasn't too great actually. A little bit of damage for the Lich, but that's about it. But therefore, he gets the flute.
Yeah, and the level 2 Dark Ranger, that's a big advantage, having Skeletons or Black Arrow and Silence against only Silence. And also a Death Knight, much closer to 4. So much closer to 4, dude, what the hell?
Players' forces are under attack.
Also, there was a Tome of Agility on the Dark Ranger remote. That will, I think, tip the scale.
Hoggers. But XlorD gets the red camp. Silence to prevent the steal, and the best item on the map, the Khadgar's Pipe. In a weird position for Happy, following up there into the bottleneck, perhaps not the wisest choice. Happy says, okay, you get the big boy, but I'm gonna get the rest of this experience. That's quite a bit.
Okay, XlorD definitely not unlucky with the drops. He had a mana potion before, he had a flute before, now he gets the mana bong. Where does this game go from here? We almost out-creep this. It's always kind of weird to go for the turtles because you're stuck there and can be creep-jacked. XlorD still has the lab, XlorD still has the mercenary camp and catch up that way. Lich is level 3, DK, yeah, level 4, not anytime soon. And Happy was close, but doesn't check up the high ground.
It would have been a very dangerous fight to take for Happy. He couldn't go for the invul, he wanted to, but XlorD secured that for himself, and that exposed the Lich definitely. Happy's Lich only 525 experience, and the enemy Lich for XlorD is level 3 already. So hero kill would be really, really dangerous. Happy's taking it a little bit slower, and XlorD is now perhaps looking for a fight. He's very slightly down in supply, but the position at the moment favors Happy. He has all his units in position already. XlorD is still trickling in, and he's down by one single Fiend. Now we have a level 3 Lich also for Happy and very close to 4. Nova into the Fiends, hits big time. Coil has to be used against it right away. Counter Nova and also the Wand of the Wind being used. Destroyer though, morphed right away. Seems like XlorD doesn't have the web. Big mistake forgetting about that upgrade. The Destroyers can't be dealt with. And with that we have beautiful Dispel and the next Nova hits. Oh goodness, now 2 Destros coming up at the same time. But they are getting webbed and that's it already. No chance against the Emperor today. 2-0 for Happy.
Yeah. There was the question, will a best of 3 be, I don't know, easier for XlorD? Answer is absolutely not. Everything that's changing is that Happy destroys you on 2 matches, on 2 maps instead of 3. As always, super calm, super collected, no mistakes. Win.
Yeah.
XlorD felt a little tilted at the end, if you ask me.
Yeah, it seemed like he kind of overestimated his advantage. He had the level 3 Lich, he had good items, he thought he could take a good fight there. He had the confidence maybe from Meisterschaft, but it's Happy, man. You're facing Happy and 1 or 2 mistakes, and that's it.
Now I'm curious how the lower bracket looks like. Of course, we're gonna get XlorD versus either Juan, that could be the rematch, or the Muslim. I think the Muslim had the 1-0 lead before, so the Mouse Boys could meet each other in the lower bracket. And then, it would be XlorD versus Vortex in another Undead Mirror, or whoever wins versus Vortex. And the loser of the Winnerbracket semifinal will meet Blade. It's a tough bracket all along.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly the way we want it. These are some of Europe's finest here, the top 8 of the War3 Champions ladder season. We have been off to quite the explosive start. It was 2 2-0s, but still awesome games. Happy didn't leave XlorD with much of a chance, but the Muslim versus Juan, we have the human in the lead, where the Muslim right now is playing map 2.
Okay, this can of course once again be found at twitch.tv/Todd. The decision, will the Muslim face Happy in the winner bracket final as our second last game of the day, or not? Will it be the comeback of Juan? Then we would have to wait a little. But anyway, lots of content here, lots of things to talk about. For example, the Matcherino page of this very tournament, because we have another 2 contributions here. And of course, we're gonna praise these wonderful people. There. Kefian with a $20 donation. Modmoto is my spirit animal. Modmoto, one of the wonderful devs of W3 Champions. Shout out. And Björn Gordon with a $10 donation as well. Great casting, chaps. Thank you, Björn. Much love. We want to raise this to 3K. We're $225 short. That would be $1,000 for Season 3 already, as the prize pool for Season 2 is capped at 2K. And Remo, we also got some contributions to our channel as well.
I think we left off with Billy, right? So, Gindo, thank you with the 7 months. Hovering Umla with a 9-month 3-sub says Fiend Mirror Pog. Hell yeah. Abstract WC3. Fabian, thank you with the 11-month 3-sub. Your voice is Ambrosia with 9 months. Thank you, Monochrome with the host. Joikami with the 29 months. Ethereal with a sub. Kratos with the 7 months. Sickies with the sub. My Style with the 7 months says best stream ever. Heart to you as well. Slamkache with the 30 months says finally English stream. Yeah, boys, we're back here to our channel with an English stream with classic graphics. It feels good to be back.
The torture that the English community must have went through with like 1 day of German streaming yesterday. It's unbearable. We apologize. It's business. You know how it is. We have to do this. We loved the Isla Meisterschaft final. It was really good. Thank you, Realtor Ninja, for the gifted sub to Hellbish. And we'll see. What's our next game? It's definitely involving Happy. It is either versus Juan or versus the Muslim. We're gonna wait for the result over there and then Winnerbracket semi-final.